everybody. Thank you for joining me here at the Middle Ground. Wow, what a weekend. Got a lot of attention from all of you. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. I hope that I can continue adding content to fill out a moderate perspective that we don't see addressed in the media. Here is something specific I want to talk about, the 2022 midterm elections and why moderate voters are the voting segment that have the power. It doesn't feel that way. And I was talking this weekend with a friend who said that when the parties try to stir up their base, and the media contributes to this because they play to the party antics. They create this image. For example, let's use gun control. They create this image that 50% of the country wants gun control and 50% of the country doesn't, which isn't based in reality. The polls show that over 75% of the country agree on some common sense gun control. But it's like this on every issue, and that's why we're so important. And that's why helping other moderate voters realize our power that we're not hearing we're not being told all the time that we have this power to make these decisions. So moderate voters get disenfranchised because they don't want to buy into extremes on either side, where we have the California California passed this very tit for tat gun law that was just, Texas is being obnoxious about abortions, so we'll be obnoxious about guns. And as a moderate voter, I just get pissed off. That's what I was saying, last week about the voting rights bill situation, that the Democrats piss moderate voters off. And I hope to talk more about specifically in Georgia. And I've been inviting a lot of guests to join me. So I hope I can produce more videos. It may take some time to get these guests lined up. I hope they'll say yes. To me, what's really crazy is to see the Democrats and these extreme liberals in the Democratic Party trying to co-opt and saying whenever they win, it's because everyone's buying into their ideas. And it's not. I can tell you from Georgia, for example, that's not what's happening. In Georgia, as a moderate voter, I have not had a choice which party to vote for. A lot of that is not racially related. A lot of it has to do with discussions that I've told the Democratic Party about why the Democratic Party in Georgia just turned away many voters. But that's another topic. I don't want to go open that can of worms. But in Georgia, for example, because the Democratic Party just turns people away, the Republicans think they have a monopoly. And they're kind of right, because you can't get enough people to agree with some of these extreme discussions on the Democratic liberal side to get any kind of backing. So in 2020 was the first time as a moderate voter I felt like I had a choice, and I think that's what we need to see in 2022. This weekend, Trump had this big rally down in Texas, and it's hurting Republicans because Republicans know to win the midterm elections, they need moderate voters who backed Biden's agenda in 2020 to get pissed off enough at this Democratic antics that they want to vote in some moderate Republican candidates to fix the problem. And this is what I was telling this friend in Georgia, this is what happens. He was saying that what happens is Democrats this is what happened with Obama, and I've told them they made this mistake with Obama. They get the presidency and they get control of both houses, and then they start passing through shit bills like that voting bill last week. And then the moderates are like, what the hell? This is not what we voted for. We didn't vote for the super liberal agenda. There's no balance in the discussion in the Democratic Party. So, for example, in Georgia, then the Republicans don't even run on a platform. They don't have any policies they run on. They just say, vote for us and we'll stop those crazy Democrats. And so that's what the moderates hear. And they're like, yes, please bring back some balance to the situation because these Democrats are running away with this. Well, my friend observed that the Democrats act like they expect to have only 2 years. So they just try to pass through stuff. And I'm like, but that's the problem. By just passing through crap, that's why they only get 2 years. Why do voters want to continue giving them more than 2 years if they're not demonstrating that they're doing a really quality job? So it becomes this imbalanced seesaw back and forth all the time, and we are all so tired of it. That's why I admire what Sinema has been doing. And I'm a little bit frustrated why my Georgia senators aren't doing more of that, because I voted for them. I'm a moderate voter. And I voted for these Georgia senators to make sure that they were representing my voice at the table instead of just shutting down conversation. But I don't see them even thinking about what the moderate voters in Georgia want. We're the ones that elected you. We're the ones that got tired of Perdue and Loeffler. And so why aren't you caring more about doing more for the voters that made this possible, which weren't the super liberals? And so this is what we see going into this 22 election. And one party knows they need moderate voters. I want moderate voters to wake up and see what power we have. We are the voters that both parties should be trying to woo over. Because both parties have their two crazy bases. And who makes the decisions about this election are us. We are the ones with the power. Do I need to repeat that again? Because I don't think many moderate voters realize this. Moderate voters get so disenfranchised because we just hear this rhetoric from the media too, all saying that it's this 50-50 divide and you're either on one side or the other. We are not on one side or the other. We are the tiebreakers. We are the decision makers. Start acting like it. Let's start getting loud for this midterm election. So I'm going to go back to the 2020 election, and I'm going to use this example of this spreadsheet that I put together on policies that I cared about. Okay, so what I want to do is look at this. This is a spreadsheet that I made during the Senate runoff elections in Georgia. And as you can see, there are a lot of great things that have happened since then that we can look at. So I think Mitch McConnell's a problem. I'm sure many moderates agree with me because all he does is obstruct stuff. So I'm glad that our Senate is not run by Mitch McConnell anymore. So the number 2 is the problem, right? The Senate legislature creating solutions and passing laws, working for voters, not working for lobbyists. So I don't see the solutions and the laws, like about this voting rights issue that I asked for. And you notice that, so these no's were the 2 Republican candidates and the other candidates were the Democratic candidates. And you see, they claimed they were going to do this for me. So let's hold them to that. They need to start doing more of this. I didn't want to vote for anybody who voted against impeachment or were playing into Trump's antics. I don't want a policy that's dictated by a Tea Party and America First. Thumbs down to those things. I also don't want a party dictated by the Bernie brothers. I do want to see some common sense gun reform. It doesn't have to happen immediately. I think this is something that the majority of the country agree on. This is why we need a legislature that's actually discussing what people want to see. It's not weighed down by the NRA. So I want to vote for legislators that are working for me, not for anybody else. Stop shutting down this discussion around abortion. That's a big thing in Georgia, and it's tied down here to this one, where in Georgia it becomes this whistleblower thing that if you want to see any regulations about abortion, that you can bypass any other problems and the Republicans and just vote for them, and they do a shit job of this anyway. Okay, so let's go with some positives. Look, we ended the war in the Middle East. I know it was a mess, but wow, that they accomplished that. I voted for that. Um, I want to see common sense healthcare. I want to see more unbiased policing and protections of all communities. I want to see people don't realize in the discussion around climate change, the agriculture industry has been told for decades by the Republican Party that claims to represent them that climate change doesn't exist. But then they aren't told to prepare like how to adapt different crops for the changing conditions. So, and agriculture is a big industry in Georgia. This is really important for Georgia voters. So, I care about things that are important to the economy, to businesses. The energy transition is really important to do well. I have a whole video about the energy policy. I'm tired of government obstruction. So let's stop that. I don't want to vote for any more parties that are doing that. The medical industry overpricing. I have seen a lot of great discussion about this. Carolyn Bordeaux, I can do a separate video about her. She's fabulous from Georgia, has really been trying to tackle this. Senator Klobuchar has really been trying to tackle this. There are a lot of people that are trying to tackle this and work on a bipartisan solution. This is why I don't want to vote for a party that's just going to go in and shut down and obstruct, because they're working really hard trying to fix these problems. Tax and policy I'll get into another time. I want people to call white terrorism for what it is, and I want an equal rights amendment. So you can see these, as a moderate voter, these are some of the issues that I'm weighing the parties on that are actually policy related. So let's start doing more of this. That's just my example. And I'll probably make up a new one for 2022 midterms, and I can share that all with you another time. Now, the Republican Party doesn't run on any policies. The only policies they run on is stop Obama, stop the Democrats. The Democrats run on some policies, but it gets overtaken by these immature people with no experience and just buy into whatever Bernie Sanders says, buy into whatever pie in the sky promises they're told how to fix the world. And we know we don't believe in that either. So let's look at some policies that we actually believe in. Let's start to define, what does it mean to have a moderate point of view that wants to see forward movement, that wants to see things getting accomplished? And let's start letting these parties know we have their number. We have the power to make the decision about this election, and they need to wake up and start listening to us if they want to win. What do you say? Are you with me? Because that's what I'm about here at the Middle Ground. Thank you so much. Have a great day.